Thank you, Chair Westerman. You know, I don't think I've encountered such an amazing display of ignorance regarding the nature of a wolf until this afternoon. A wolf is not a pet dog. It's not some schnauzer or golden retriever or a dachshund. It is the truth of the matter, a natural-born killer. That's what it does for a living. That's how it stays alive. It kills things. It eats them. And it does not kill them in a kind and humane fashion. It's a wolf. We would be led otherwise to believe by what we've been hearing from the other side of the aisle. It's obvious to me that those who have suggested that ranchers are apparently not to be concerned about haven't grown up on a ranch, as did I. They don't have a clue about what it's like to have to get up in the middle of the night to try to go out and protect your livelihood from nocturnal killers like wolves. They don't get it, they don't want to get it, they don't want to understand it because they don't have to. The people I represent do have to deal with wolves back in Oregon, and in some of the most awkward situations. Highway 395 cuts my district basically in half. My district, by the way, CD2 in Oregon, is bigger than the state of Washington. It is bisected by this highway, and on one side the wolves are listed, on the other they are not. In some places, this highway runs right through the middle of a single ownership ranch. So you can imagine, the wolf kills an animal on one side where it's protected and runs to the other, it's not, or vice versa. Hardly a situation that benefits folks trying to make a living. To suggest that there's a balance in Yellowstone, you haven't read the most recent report about Yellowstone, apparently. You should. There's some argument that the wolf brought some sort of natural balance back to Yellowstone. Not true. Read the report. Mr. Speaker, I have a question. How many wolves is enough? We have about 250, something like that, wolves in Oregon, 25 packs. That's been determined to be adequate for the survival of the wolf. That's enough under the ESA. But we have 2,500 to 3,500 in Minnesota. That's a few more than I think is necessary, don't you, Mr. Speaker? We have 60,000 wolves in Canada. 60,000, and the number is growing because it's almost impossible to slow the growth down. We have 5,000 to 6,000 wolves in Alaska. So, Mr. Speaker, how many wolves is enough? That's really the question we should be asking, because the Endangered Species Act doesn't require an abundance of these natural-born killers. It requires enough that we still have them around. No one's disputing that. And to suggest that 90% of the wolves were killed in Idaho, not true. There are over 1,000 wolves still in Idaho to this day. The exact count's difficult. Wolves are smart. They're intelligent creatures. They learn, and so it becomes more and more and more difficult to control them. The reason they need to be delisted is so that we have some means of controlling an apex predator. An apex predator, one of these things that once you have them, they're very hard to control. Being listed makes it almost impossible. It's odd when we have language in the report from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service that states unequivocally, I'll read you page 15 of the report dated February 1st of 2024. Specifically, now and until the foreseeable future, wolves are likely to retain a healthy level of abundance. Given the assumption in our model, our analysis projections indicate there is no risk of quasi-extinction in the next 100 years on any of our future scenarios. Under any, this is U.S. Fish and Wildlife talking, more specifically according to the population projections for forecasting model, which incorporates Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, minimum management commitments from delisting, we project there would be at least 739 wolves throughout Idaho, Montana, Oregon, Washington, Wyoming for the next 100 years. Mr. Speaker, of course we need the delisting. It's the way that we are going to be able to protect, if at all, and control the number of wolves that now inhabit the United States. With that, I yield back.